Hi, good morning. This is Suzanne with your April 2016 Zoho Tips and Tricks webinar. Sorry, I'm a little faulty here because I'm trying to get my Q&A panel up, which I want to mention that if you're watching this live, should be a Q&A panel off to the right of your screen, and feel free to ask questions during the webinar. I'll do my best to keep an eye on any questions popping up and answer them either in line or at the end of the webinar. So as always, with our webinar, we have 3 tips and tricks to share with you today regarding the use of Zoho CRM and other Zoho applications. So let's get started by first talking about an overview of our 3 tips. Let me switch to my screen, and basically I want to review 3 tips with you today. One has to do with Zoho campaigns. That if you're not familiar with Zoho campaigns, it's an auxiliary, well, it really stands on its own application of Zoho that works really nicely with CRM, and it's an email marketing campaign or email marketing application, very similar to a Constant Contact or a HubSpot or something along those lines. So we're going to talk about Zoho campaigns, and we're going to talk about the process of going from draft to send and how all that works. The next one we're going to talk about is 2 tips related to Zoho CRM. One is how you can set it up to automatically convert a lead or a quote based on certain things or triggers that happen. And the last one I'm going to go over is, again, related to CRM, and it's talking about signatures. There's 2 different types of signatures that you have in CRM, and sometimes people get confused between those 2, so I want to just kind of separate those out and explain them. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and stay in this view, close down my lead-in chart, and we're going to launch into our first tip, which talks about campaigns. And specifically, Zoho has built in checkpoint for sending out campaigns, and it's mostly for your safety as well as for theirs, to make sure that the material that you're sending out would not get any kind of complaints or spam complaints associated with it. So they have a review cycle, and it happens very quickly. I've already gone through the review cycle for the purposes of this demo, but it's usually within a minute. You'll get it back, and it'll provide you the buttons to either send the email campaign out immediately, like it's shown here, or schedule to send it at some later date. So, like I said, I've created the campaign, and I've sent it for review, and it's come back, and it's been approved to view. So we're sitting here. The tip is related to, now if I come in and I'll swap over here, and I edit this campaign in any way, that negates the review, and I've got to start over. So if you've created a campaign and you sent it for review and it was ready to go out, but then you came back in and hit edit contents, edit, and I don't even have to make any changes. Let's get that out. I don't even have to make any changes, just the mere fact that I went back in and I hit edit content, and then I save and close. And now when I come back in and I step back through my wizard and I come back to the send, now I'm back to, I've got to send for review because I have opened it up for editing, which again negates the review cycle that I had done before. Okay, so that's tip number 1. Just so, again, if you've already sent your campaign for review and it's gotten approved, as soon as you hit that edit button, it negates that approval, and you've got to go through the cycle again. But like I said, it happens very quickly, and you should get it back within less than a minute. All right, that is tip number 1. Let's move on to tip number 2, and for that we're going to go back into CRM. Excuse me. And we're going to talk about automated lead and quote conversion. Now, this is something that's relatively new to CRM. I'd say it was added last year sometime. But it's an enhancement to workflow, and you can set it up such that it will automatically convert an invoice or a quote depending on your workflow settings. So let's go through that and show you how you could set up something for automatic conversion. Okay, going back over to screen share. I'm going to go into setup. And we're going to come down here into workflow. Just going to open workflow. And let's just start from scratch and create a rule. So obviously the only two rules that will apply are leads, quotes, or sales orders can actually be converted to invoices as well. So let's just take leads. So I'm going to choose leads as a module. I'm going to call this demo. Auto convert. Okay. Here's the key to getting this to work. You execute based on a record action, and that record action has to be a field update. So I'm just going to choose, it can be any field. Let's say we're going to do it on lead status. Sorry if you hear the cat in the background. Okay, so we're going to choose field update and arbitrary buddy. Sorry, he wants to be on my. So field status and click next. And you can you can work. Maybe you want the lead status a certain value. So let's find lead status, and we're going to say that we want this to automatically convert when lead status is demo scheduled. Okay, I say next, and I have convert as an action option, and go through that. I'm going to say I want to do convert. So you automatically, because I've chosen, you automatically have it converting to a contact and an account, just like if you would manually convert. And then you have the option to convert to an opportunity. And at this point, you can choose an amount. And this can be a field that you have in the lead value so that you can, control how much you're setting your opportunity amount for. So the only currency field that's in my lead record right now is annual revenue. But to handle that, I can just create a custom field called opportunity amount, and then that would show up here that I could choose for the amount. So again, it will act just like an email template or a mail merge, where it will pull the value in from the lead record to set the value of that opportunity. Same with closing date. You can make that execution day plus X number of days. So again, it will be based on the date that it was converted. And then maybe you have, you try to do a 2-week turnaround time or something along those lines. So you can set that up as well. Then you choose one of your stages. So because we're changing this on demo scheduled, then the best option to set your stage to is qualification demo. So you get the idea. You can set it up and then click done. Again, opportunity name, it can be made from merge fields from your lead record. I am just going to set this up as first name, last name. Let's put a space in there. First name, last name, dash. This opportunity. Just do that now. And then I can just say done and save. And then that will create my conversion. Now, let me just going to go ahead and create a new role just to demonstrate these. The name, we're going to call that demo 2. I'm not going to do a description for this. I could do execute based on a record action, and if I chose create or edit, hit next, no rule criteria. Notice now my convert isn't there, and that's based on a field update. That's the only way it will work. So once I click field update, now it appears. Okay, so just remember that. And lastly, we're going to go over tip number 3, and that has to do with signatures. So I'm going to get out of here. And we're going to talk about the 2 different types of signatures and when you can use them. So let's start talking about the user signature. User signature is set up in personal settings. So when I come up here, I have this signature block, and right now I've already created a signature. If you have not yet created a signature, you're going to see just signature, line, and edit. And you won't have anything down here. But even if I have created a signature, I can always go in. When I click edit, that just opens up my editor. And you can get fancy, like you see here, I added an image, I added a line. You can do with it with your signature. So I'm just going to cancel out of that. But that's your user signature. And where that comes into play is in templates. So when I'm creating a template, I'm just going to open that up for editing. Right here, up in this header area, it'll say to add user signature. And what that means is if I use this template to send out an email, it's going to grab that user signature from whoever the email is going out from. So for example, you can set up email templates to be from record owner's email. So whoever owns that record, their signature will be grabbed and placed at the bottom of the email template as it goes out. So that's the use for user signature. Okay, that you can add it to your email templates when you're sending out emails. The other kind of signature is just basically your mail signature. So it's very similar to any other email client like Outlook or any other email client. And we actually get there through email. So if you have your email configured, which if you don't have an email tab here, that means you haven't configured your email yet. And to do that, we go back into personal settings, email settings. And if you haven't configured your Zoho Mail yet, you'll have a big green button here that says configure Zoho Mail. So go through that step. And once you go through that step, then you'll have your email tab. And under your email tab, there is settings. And under settings, you will see, I'm not seeing it, signatures, here we go. I was looking at the big gray ones. Click signatures, and then you can add signatures and then attach a signature to any emails that you have integrated in through Zoho Mail. So to add a signature, click add signature, and you get that very same editor that pops up. And again, you can choose the account right from, I have 3 email addresses integrated into this account. So I could choose what email address I want to add the signature for, give it a title, and then build the signature with my editor. Cancel. So this signature gets used whenever I just send an email from here. So I can create an email by clicking compose. And now that is the email address that I have already configured for my for my mail account. So that's the email, or that's the signature that will pop up just when I'm using my email client. Again, very similar to using an Outlook or another type of email client. All right, behind that. So that concludes my 3 tips for the day. And just to go back and review, we talked about campaigns. And just remember, my tip is that you go through a review cycle to send your campaign out. But if you go in and click edit, even if you don't change anything, once you go into the editor, that negates your approval, and you have to circle back around and send it back out for review in order to get that approval and send it. That was tip number 1. Tip number 2 is auto convert. And again, that's something kind of a relatively new functionality, but the tip there is that you only have an auto convert action option when you choose a field update as your trigger. And then finally, tip number 3 that we just did are the 2 signatures. We have the your user signature, which is attached to your account, and then you have your mail signatures. You can have more than one. Oh, geez, sorry. You can have more than one, and they attach to your specific email account, and those will be applied when you send an email out just using your email, whereas your user signature gets applied when you use templates. All right, those are our 3 tips for today. Hope you found them useful, and please remember that we have tons of other useful videos and tips for not only Zoho CRM, but Dynamics, Salesforce, Crystal Reports, all kinds of stuff on the Marks Group website that you can find at marksgroup.net. We also have a blog, so if you prefer to read versus watching videos, everything that I just demonstrated today is all written out in a blog. You can access that through our website as well, marksgroup.net. All right, have a great day, and we'll see you next month.